Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Hard My Wrestling. We are here with what do we want to call this? Wrestling Cafe. Catching up on some news this week. Going through different things. We were busy this weekend. But hey, we're back. We're here to have fun. So, let's see. Do we want to start off with CM Punk?
Let's do CM Punk.
All right, CM Punk. So apparently CM Punk is going back to AEW. He's willing to work with pretty much the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega again after his bitch fest. So we'll see what happens there.
Bitch fest. Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like he's willing to work with those guys, but they're not willing to work with him. I don't think the Bucks want to work with him. I think Kenny said he would do it, and they have a meeting with Jericho and I guess the Elite coming up here. About his return.
Tony Khan too, to make sure everything goes well.
Yeah, because Tony's going to step in if shit hits the fan, right?
But no,
he's too tiny.
He hasn't stepped in at this juncture, so why would he step in?
That's the joke.
Yeah, that was the joke. Well, he's too tiny.
Nah. And honestly, he should have stepped in when the Young Bucks were creating all the issues earlier before and Hangnail Adam Page creating issues. And then we wouldn't have had this problem.
I'm sorry, you did just say hangnail, right?
Yeah,
he did.
Hangnail.
Okay, well, just want to double check.
Yeah.
So, and I know you're a Punk fan, and I mean he by far is the biggest star in AEW. If he's there,
he's there,
star in AEW. That does not mean he's not a cancer, and he is a cancer everywhere he goes, and it is a problem everywhere he goes. And you should shake your head, but prove me wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. He had a WWE issue. Tell me I'm wrong. He had an Impact issue or TNA.
Vince McMahon was the bigger issue in the WWE run. I mean, again, prove me wrong on that.
I am proving you wrong.
No, you're not.
There is a common denominator, my friend. There is a common denominator in this whole thing, and it's CM Punk. He's got to grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
Honestly, listen.
Who has drawn more money in AEW in the last several years? CM Punk, the Young Bucks. Who has drawn more money?
The Young Bucks. They've been there longer.
Bucks.
They've been there longer, but have they drawn more money?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Did they draw $1 million house? No. Did they draw multiple?
You're talking about drawing money. I'm not talking about one single draw. I'm talking about period.
The Young Bucks
have drawn more money.
Talent. CM Punk doing what he usually does when he bitches about different things and tries to get his way. Wow. Which is exactly what happened with WWE and Vince.
Okay, but
because
again,
he did not play well with others.
But who is the bigger star? Young Bucks or CM Punk?
Bucks.
No. Now that wasn't your question. We already said that. Now CM Punk is the bigger draw. CM Punk is CM Punk is the guy. CM Punk is the biggest guy in their company when he's there. I would say MJF is second.
MJF is definitely second.
But the problem is CM Punk is a baby. He can't get his own way, and he takes his ball and he goes home. He won the world title.
The money that he makes, you have the ability to take your ball and go home whenever the frick you want.
So you're telling me he's made a ton of money, and he can be a bitch and come back whenever he wants, right? Is that what you're telling me?
Because he can do whatever the heck he wants.
So wait a minute, you had the same. We've had this conversation before where we were giving Brock some big shit for leaving in his wrestling championship run, and now we're doing the same thing with CM.
The situation's a little different with Brock because
it's almost parallel.
Yes, it is, because Brock is not a problem. Brock was irritated at the fact that they got rid of McMahon. That was his issue. He didn't have an issue. He's not slamming. I mean, if nobody has an issue with him except for Jericho, and supposedly that was handled.
Okay.
At the end of the day, okay. Well, who's drawing more money, Brock or CM Punk?
Right now, Brock, especially with his new
period, Brock.
Right now, Brock is because of his new and Ring of Honor babyface run against Cody.
Yeah. So
they just turned Cody heel on Monday Night Raw.
Brock is not known to be a trouble starter or
he's just mad that Vince is not there anymore.
Right. So, but at the end of the day, that's not all these guys have a tendency to be prima donnas and crybabies. Believe me, I know one or two.
You?
No, I'm not. I write the fucking book. I write the book. I can't be a baby. I could book myself as a baby though.
I'm pretty sure I have footage of you being a baby on my phone currently.
When I have to be a baby, then I'm a baby.
Next time we'll
At
see
the
you
end,
wrapped up in
at
a
the end of the
diaper.
day, you're right. CM Punk and Brock Lesnar, that's two different situations because Brock has not been an issue in several companies. CM Punk has.
Yeah, and considering CM Punk went to UFC, flopped, where Brock had a good career in UFC, did pretty well, and then went back to WWE again.
But at the same time, you can't judge a person just because Punk flopped twice in the UFC. That doesn't mean.
But again, what did he do in UFC when he started losing?
I'm saying that he has flopped 4 times. Now I don't even count the UFC because that's different. That is a different animal.
That's
That
real
is
punchy
actually
punch.
being punched in the face, right?
That's real punchy punch.
He did on that documentary. He did run his mouth a lot, and the dude that he was in the ring with, they thought they were giving CM Punk a cupcake to win, and that guy drug him. That guy drug his ass. But again, at the end of the day, and I promise you this, and I will eat Wyatt's hat. That hat. I will eat that Orioles tidless hat. If CM Punk can go 3 years in this company without having another issue with somebody, and I'll buy the A1 for the hat.
Interesting. No, and I mean, I agree. I mean, it was bound to happen at some point because he does implode.
But for good reason. And again, you guys are
But
still.
what was his reason against the Young Bucks?
You're still ignoring the fact that first of all, the Young Bucks got all their friends hired into this company. Hangnail Adam Page being one of them. Hangnail, of course, is whatever the Young Bucks. If the Young Bucks don't like somebody, Hangnail doesn't like somebody. So Hangnail goes out on live television, cuts his own freaking promo, giving Punk a whole bunch of grief. Punk comes out there and is like, okay, you want to go off script? We're going to go off script. But he does it like Punk. You got to understand something. You guys see that he's a shit talker and stuff like that. After this whole deal with the locker room incident, how many times has Punk been online talking shit about anything?
A lot.
I can count
a lot.
Two.
Okay.
Two.
A lot.
Two. That's not a lot. Okay. Meltzer and Jericho.
A guy who wants to come back to the company. A guy who wants to come back to the company and mend fences out there talking shit.
Meltzer through the.
He just did it recently at a UFC event.
2. I can count 2 times that he has gone online. And again, you got all these guys. You got Meltzer, who's the mouthpiece of the Young Bucks, going out there and stirring up stuff every time that that Tony Khan and Punk have a meeting. The next day or the day after, Meltzer's on there saying, "Oh well, Punk needs to go back and apologize and put the Bucks over and this, that, and the other thing." Like, excuse me, Punk didn't start this one. You guys keep saying Punk is a cancer in the locker room. Punk didn't start this.
Yeah, but any superstar, and this is where it's going to kind of correlate with sports. You go a certain degree, it's kind of like what is it, the code of conduct? You're supposed to not take that stuff with a grain of salt. I mean, I've seen stars take that stuff like internet trolls and explode, like Lamar did it just 2 weeks ago. They were calling him out because he's being a little baby about his contract, and he goes like, "You know what, y'all? I'm done with sitting here and taking this." I'm like, dude, just let it go. It's just people trolling you.
Okay, but at the same time,
we don't know everything, and I'm not gonna say the complete blame was. I think the majority of the blame was on Tony Khan for not nipping his shit in the bud immediately.
I agree. It's bad management style.
We're not gonna. I'm not gonna say that the Bucks weren't part of this issue because they were. But when you're brought into a situation and you don't handle it correctly, you become the problem, not the solution.
Yeah.
The Bucks have been with Ring of Honor.
Yep.
No issues. They have been with New Japan.
No issues.
No issues.
Really good run.
They were in Impact. What were they? The Cucamonga Kids at Impact?
Yep.
Is that what they were?
Yep.
No issues.
Okay.
When it was time to move on, they moved on. They didn't
Okay.
leave a trail of fucking shit behind them when they left. And that is what CM Punk does. When CM Punk is mad, he lights the whole fucking fuse and lights everything on fire around him. He doesn't care who he hurts or what he does.
Okay. And is
And there
it,
you go.
do you see a problem with that? Because I don't.
Yeah, I do see a problem with that. Because
I
if
don't.
you're in my locker room, I don't care how much money you draw, I'll figure out another draw. Because at the end of the day, you're ruining our locker room.
See,
And-
now
and-
there are
no,
other
no,
there
hold
are
on.
other bookers out there that would say the other way around. If you got the biggest draw in the company, possibly even in the world, that you have on your roster, you're going to tell the people that are the lower draws, sorry, you know what? You got a problem with this guy? You either figure out how to work it out, or bye bye. We're not. Or we're going to.
Well, they figured out how to work it out. They start there's another program coming to Saturday nights for 2 or 3 hours or whatever it is called Collision, and it's CM Punk is going to be on that show, and whoever wants to work with CM Punk. So it's probably going to be people like who knows. You can't get along with anybody.
Yeah,
Well-
and here's my thing. And I don't. Am I allowed to talk about what was said before the event Saturday?
Which event?
The only one we did on Saturday night.
Oh, you're talking about ATCW?
Yeah.
Sure.
So here's my thing, and this is where I think Chucky's right. Where if you work with somebody who is cancerous and you bring that with you, they don't want it to follow. Because like ATCW with Chucky, he has built that company from the ground up. He doesn't want toxic people to come into that locker room and tarnish that reputation that he's built. Hence why we had a freaking stellar show on Saturday. Because everyone plays well with each other, works well with each other. Even when they turn heel in the ring, they work well with each other. Which, surprise, later. But you don't want to leave a pile of shit behind. Because that's just like, here's my garbage, you deal with it. I'm going to go over here now.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah,
that
I'm
that
not
works for-
denying. I'm not denying that CM Punk is huge money. When they go to Chicago, it's huge. When they go to Ohio, it's huge. When they go to New York, they hate his guts. But whatever. I mean,
Yep.
but they're
anywhere-
still paying to see. They're paying to see him to hate his guy.
it honestly, it's not a stand-up comedy show. It's not the CM Punk one night only. There's other people in this company too that people come to see. Yes, when I never saw CM Punk wrestle.
Yep.
I got a chance. We saw him in Baltimore. He beat what's his name, the chairman, in like 10 seconds.
Okay, Spears. Got it.
Spears.
Oh, wow.
And then called out. I forget who he called out at the time. It might have been Jericho. I
No,
can't.
that was the feud building up to MJF.
Or was it Darby? Because that was early
No,
on.
that was Spears. If he was going up against Spears and beating him in 10 seconds, that was when he was calling.
Yeah, he just came out, squashed him, and I can't remember who.
because
but-
Spears got distracted. He hit him with I forget what he did, and then just the match was over because he was like,
It
"All
was
right,
literally a couple seconds. I think he met him on the stage with the chair.
and he goes,
Wow.
I've beaten Wardlow. I've now beaten Spears. Where's MJF?
I actually feel like it.
Or
Were
it
they all
Spears and
together?
Wardlow? I can't remember.
Were they all together?
Oh, that's right, because they were the pinnacle at that point.
Yeah, that
That's
was it. Was the
right.
trio, and
Gotcha.
MJF said, "If you can't get,
No, there was
if you
5
can't
of them
get
in the
to me-"
pinnacle, right? Jericho was in the pinnacle.
No, he wasn't.
No, Jericho.
Not at
That's
that point.
Wasn't
It
it? What's
no,
the
it's
two? What's the two
it was
Spanish? dudes?
FTR. It was MJF, Wardlow, Spears, FTR. That was the 5. Because it was whatever Jericho was calling himself originally. What was the original group? 'Cause it wasn't the Pinnacle. It was
It was Sammy.
because it was Sammy.
Yeah, MJF and Wardlow were like a side part of that.
yeah, but
But
what?
it was
One-
the two
one-
Spanish dudes. What are the two Hispanic
Oh,
tag team?
Yeah, well, they're gone. Well, one of them's gone, and one of them's not. But yeah, I know.
it was
I've
those
heard rumors
two.
that- I think it's Ortiz that's trying to come.
Yeah,
back.
Yes, Ortiz,
Santana and
and
Ortiz.
Santana
Yes,
Ortiz, Sammy Guevara,
Yep.
Jake Hager,
Jericho.
Jericho.
But what was that original group's name?
I actually think they were. I thought it was the Pinnacle.
No,
No,
Pinnacle was MJF's crew that he formed to
oh, I
fight
could
them.
see it. Crap.
But now they're the Jazz, but I can't remember what they originally.
The jackass.
No,
Sure.
I'm not talking about you.
Oh, God, right. I can see it.
Oh,
Because they wore red
it
for a while. Because it's changed like names like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, Jared. They've changed the group name.
So, but we'll figure that later.
I'm looking it up. Go ahead, keep talking.
Yeah. So after the CM Schmuck conversation, so now we're going on to an email that Vince McMahon reportedly sent out to the company this past weekend, stating that he is stepping away from creative and giving it back to Triple H. However, Triple H will stay in contact with Vince for any ideas or any suggestions that he might have.
Inner Circle.
Inner Circle. There
Thank
we
you.
go. Versus the Pinnacle. That's right.
And again, Jason and I, we all three of us had this conversation about Vince. Okay. After the really shitty Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, Damage Control was sent in already. Because the UFC saw the numbers dip. They were like, no, go away. Because he saw that Triple H was doing better booking than Vince.
Yeah.
So, and not changing anything in the middle of the show. So Vince was like, I guarantee you Endeavor said something to him.
I wouldn't be surprised, but here's the thing about it. Vince can't keep his fingers out of the pie to save his life.
It's not. It doesn't matter. I'll say it again. It doesn't matter.
He's
not the boss anymore.
Okay, that's fine. May not be the boss, but he can't keep his fingers out of the pie. He may still sit at home, but he's still gonna be sitting at home, probably on video conference with Triple H. You know, pal, you need to do this, you need to do this, and literally they'll be conferencing the whole time during the freaking show while everything's going on. All right, let me rewrite this really quick, and yeah, it's going to happen. Vince will not keep his fingers out of the pie until somebody completely forces him to keep his fingers out of the pie by cutting his damn hands off.
Well, and now here's the thing. On top of all of this, he did lose his voting rights for the company. If you didn't see that announcement.
That I didn't.
Endeavor cut him out of his voting rights.
Completely?
Completely. He has no longer got voting rights for the company.
We should post that. We should post
that. So, because from what it sounded like when they did the merger, Vince would have, again, not voting rights for WWE, but for the whole merged company. The whole, he had a piece of that pie that he could vote on.
He is management. He is management. But he's not. He's managing other things. He's managing other stuff. He's not going to be managing the day-to-day stuff for WWE.
He's managing paralegals, but
But again, I find this interesting. So after all this shit hit the fan with Vince, the other thing is, and this is currently up to date, over 32,000 tickets have been sold for SummerSlam, which is by far their best single day record of selling.
Okay.
Considering SummerSlam, I believe, is being held in Detroit, because Backlash is 2 Saturdays away.
Okay.
And that's being held in Puerto Rico, hosted by Bad Bunny. So
it's being. I wonder if it's being held at Joe Louis.
No, it's being held at Ford Stadium.
Yeah, there is. Is Ford Field still there?
Yeah,
it's arena. Yeah, it's Ford. It's Ford Stadium or something like that.
It's where they did WrestleMania 23 several years back, but yeah, it's still around. So they just have
the Pontiac Silverdome.
Yeah, the old what replaced the Silverdome, but yes.
But again, and this is coming from Bleacher Report. So for this kind of news, I will definitely rely on Bleacher Report because they do have a big wrestling following because they are they are the main sponsor of AEW, so they know the wrestling news. So on the same day the sale was announced, WWE held Raw in Los Angeles the night after WrestleMania 39. The episode was roundly criticized due to a lack of surprises and disjointed booking. So, PW Insider, Professional Wrestling Insider, Mike Johnson, reported that McMahon was backstage for the show and firmly back in charge, rewriting multiple parts of the script in the middle of the show. That caused concern among a large portion of WWE's fan base, which it did because we bragged on it for 2 hours. McMahon has reportedly not been backstage for subsequent episodes of Raw and SmackDown and has reportedly reviewed the scripts remotely instead.
Okay.
I think if they find out that Vince's hand is in the pot, shit will go down. Because Endeavor is looking for the money and the draw.
Okay.
That is why they bought the WWE.
All right. Let me lay down a little something for you on this one though.
That you have daddy issues.
So there's one person that's still working for WWE. Gentleman that has been so far up Vince's ass over the last 20 to 30 years that basically he could be Vince McMahon's third or second son. And I believe his name is Bruce Pritchard. Okay? So we have a man who is so in tune with what Vince thinks and wants, and he still works for the company. So I guarantee you, in
The
one
ultimate
form or-
yes man.
yeah, he is a yes man.
The ultimate
So-
yes man.
Here is what will happen. Even if Vince isn't talking to Triple H directly, Bruce will be on the phone with Vince. Bruce will be relaying everything Vince it's going
He can
to
relay everything to Vince, but it won't get back to Triple H.
Oh no, because again, Vince will tell Bruce, go tell Triple H.
Okay, that doesn't mean Triple H has to listen to him.
Okay.
Who's got the final word?
Triple H has got the final word now.
That's right.
He is the sole creative heir now for that.
I promise you this. I don't know if you've ever listened to Something to Russell. I don't know if you've ever listened to that podcast. Great
Oh, I'm
podcast.
not.
Bruce Pritchard's great. He's got some great stories. Conrad Thompson, Conrad Thompson's great.
Not really, but
Okay. That threw me. Bruce,
I need a referee.
That's a separate. That's gonna be a separate conversation and why you don't think that guy is amazing. Anyway, Bruce Pritchard is probably thanking the Lord and baby Jesus that Vince is not around, so he can sleep, so he can actually do what he wants to do or do what needs to be done, and doesn't have to worry about being called at 1 o'clock in the morning after he just laid his head on his pillow about, hey brother, hey pal, I got a job for I want you to run this by you. Becky Lynch becomes a man.
Right. I'm actually surprised they haven't pulled that stunt yet.
And I'll be honest, I'm not gonna say much on the Tony, the Pritchard thing because I don't know Pritchard. So I'm gonna let you two duke this out.
Bruce has been in and out of the company a few times. He's been Vince's right hand man for years. It was Vince, Bruce, and
Johnny
Laurinaitis.
Ace.
Yeah,
Yep, Johnny Ace.
Laurinaitis. And then Johnny Laurinaitis got caught up in he fell on the sword for the WWE
for Vince, yeah, pretty much. But that was actually what I was going to say next. I will prove that Vince is back in power when they rehire Johnny Ace, because I guarantee it will happen.
That's not happening.
It's going to happen.
No.
Johnny's not.
Under Endeavor, that will never happen again.
You're forgetting it is no longer WWE. It is now in Denver. They are under the umbrella of Endeavor.
But
Endeavor,
not in Denver.
It's in Denver, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
but it could
We're
be
now
in
live
Denver.
Colorado.
I mean, wherever CM Punk can draw money,
I
they are under the umbrella of Endeavor.
Laurinaitis will be again. They'll hire him in a lower position than he used to be. But I guarantee he'll be
maybe sweeping the floors. But John Laurinaitis is never coming back.
If Vince is in
never
charge,
say never.
If Vince is in charge, secretly in charge,
Vince is not in charge.
You say that. Let's see if the creative bears it out.
Did you see Raw last night?
Raw was fantastic.
Amazing.
I was asleep because I had to get up and
Raw was.
Don't even start with me,
fantastic.
bro, about getting up early. It was a great Raw.
Hey,
SmackDown was good.
Just so you know, I had to get up early to reset your company's product. So don't give me.
When's this?
This morning I've been doing Frito-Lay.
Oh, you're a giant. You're a giant's 12-foot section.
Yep. But anyways.
Anyway.
No, I'm
just here.
I'm telling you right now, Bruce will be the Aaron. He's still the Aaron boy.
You are so negative, Scott. If it ain't Vince is in charge, okay. Well, we've convinced you Vince is not in charge because there's a letter. Well, Bruce is now.
But again,
Bruce is yes, Triple H. I'll do whatever you want.
Corporate spin. Do you not understand the fact that I guarantee you, Vince came back.
Anybody have a gun?
Vince came back to his own company and took back over to sell the company. he kicked out 4 or 5 board members just to get his own people in place so he could get this whole thing to go down. What makes you think he
you don't
can't
kick
find
out
another
board
way
members.
to
They're all stockholders.
what do you
They had to
how
be
else
paid.
did he get this thing to go through? He kicked out board members, dude.
You had to pay them.
It's public freaking record.
You had to pay them.
I'm telling you right now, Vince will find a way to stay in charge and stay running things. It's a guarantee.
He's
One way
deader
or
than
another.
Kelsey's nuts. He's deader than Kelsey's nuts.
Okay. Hold on. Now I get to speak.
Come up, Wyatt. Come up, Wyatt. I need that. Thank you. I need you're too young to be bent over, especially in front of Scott.
That's fair. So here's the thing. You need to understand how corporate world works now and not back in the early 2000s. So if they rehire Johnny Ace, you're going to be running into a lot of other slew of issues because I forget, what was he fired for again? Was it sexual harassment?
Sexual misconduct.
Same thing Vince was fired for, and look at where he came back.
He didn't fire. He stepped away.
He stepped away. There's a big difference. However, and he still owned the company, so he could return to his own company.
Right. They actually, he
The
even
board
said
forced him out.
he got bad information. Like he had to get bad information all of his life. He said he got bad information. He should have
Yeah.
never left.
Yeah,
He
which
should have just
was-
wrote it out.
was his first mistake. He should.
So, and here's my thing with Johnny Ace. You hire, let's say a guy, a teacher is trying to get, or a person's trying to get hired to be a teacher. And he is a registered sex offender.
Well, he's never passed a background check.
Well, exactly. But I'm saying if that ever happened, you'd be putting your reputation of your school district on criticism. Putting Johnny Ace back in that situation would put not WWE in issue, Endeavor in issue.
I don't disagree, but
You see, no, you do. It's the way you said everything.
no, I'm not saying, but here's what happens. They find a way to backdoor Johnny Ace in.
Endeavor's not gonna let him backdoor.
Who's
You don't
they?
know
Who's
that.
I
they?
do.
You don't know that.
I do.
Again,
It's a new world. A whole new world.
Right.
There isn't like it may be a whole new world of a new company, but there's always ways to backdoor somebody in. There's always a way to do it. Okay, it
I
happens.
think Vince is coming off the top rope with a chair over in Denver. In Denver.
In Denver.
In Denver. In Denver.
I'm telling you right now. Like again, if it happens, if we hear that Johnny Ace has been rehired, or again, we might not even hear about it. I guarantee you, they'll do it. Vince will do it very quietly.
What do you mean? We hear when CM Punk farts towards the Young Bucks. You think we're not going to hear if Johnny Ace gets hired
again.
back on? Every woman in that company. First off, the first person is gonna say is that is what's her name, Sasha Banks or Monet or whatever. She's the first person who's gonna tweet it because she tweets everything.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. So if Johnny, I want to sleep with all the women, Ace gets back in charge.
Oh, he's not going to be back in charge
Start with the
at
Bellas.
the beginning, but he might again. One way or another. Like there's always some way of greasing the wheels to get something done. So I'm just saying right now, it could happen. It may not, but it could.
How many sexual misconduct allegations were there in the UFC? 0. Do you think they're gonna put up with that? One?
Dana White, boom, slapped his wife.
That's not sexual. Well, it might have been.
Okay, that's assault.
That's
We're
not
talking
assault.
about the Oingo Boingo time.
Yeah.
But again, it's know.
But it's
Hey, Sable.
again, assaulting your wife, and for the fact that Dana White still has the control that he does is ridiculous. Because let's look at Ray Rice. He was fired after hitting his girlfriend in an elevator. When you see
McMahon assaulting women, now they're in the same company.
They signed an
owned
NDA.
the company,
They signed an NDA.
and that's how you talk about backdoors. That was a backdoor. Signing an NDA because they couldn't go after him because they agreed that they wouldn't say shit
And yet they still found a way to go after him.
because the company was trying to save face. Because everybody nowadays is doing the, oh my God, you touched a woman wrong. Bye-bye. Like there was recently an NBA star, Hall of Famer that was on ESPN. He touched a woman inappropriately on ESPN the other day, and Disney fired him.
Who was that?
Hold on.
It wasn't Barkley, was it?
No, Chuck
Damn
is
it.
fine. Chuck is too good for that.
Damn it.
Yeah, well, it was not Paul Pierce. I know that for a fact. Jalen Rose.
Oh,
Because he apparently, and this is going to sound strange, when he went for a hug with the female anchor that he was with, he put his hand in between her arm and her armpit.
he tried to tickle her?
That's what has been released from his firing.
Oh.
So
Well, some people don't like being tickled. Some
Oh,
people
man.
don't like being tickled.
Tickle monsters, no joke. So you have to be in.
I made a career on it.
In the times we are now. The reason, and here's the funny thing, I think at this point this is going to be really far fetched, and I promise I'm not high. Vince did it as a work to somehow be kicked out and to drastically come back and take control of his company with the sexual misconducts. It happened, but what I'm saying is it was a work to surprise people that he was coming back.
I just figured he'd go away for 6 months to a year, and then
That's what I was
everybody
expecting.
would be like, he's just showed up, and everybody would be happy that
Exactly.
he was back. But Triple H has done such a great job. That was never happening.
And,
He's like,
and
oh,
here's my
I'll
thing.
just wear a disguise. I'll put on this mustache.
Yeah,
They'll
just have
never know
Triple H
it's
do his
Brett.
old thing that he did with Shawn Michaels when they acted like Shawn and Vince. And here's the other thing, is that the true test of this, your theory, will come to full flourishing before Backlash. Or after. Yeah, after.
Okay, excuse me. Huh?
WWE Draft. If there are no major shakeups, Vince is back. If there are major shakeups, Triple H is still in charge.
Yep. Agreed.
That is where your theory will become a thought in the air. That's when you become Austin Theory, just a theory.
Okay. Now explain this to me. Because that makes absolutely no sense.
No, it does not.
No. Because the major shakeups are going to be more the sign that Vince is back, especially if the major shakeups make no sense. Because
But they will, because somehow, and here's the funny thing, if Rhea Ripley does not go back to SmackDown because she is the SmackDown Women's Champion, there's a problem.
She's on both shows.
Yeah, but she has to be on a show according to the title. So she has to be with SmackDown.
Yeah, but she just kind
Because
of
she's also
bounces.
still with Judgment Day.
Yeah, she kind of bounces back and forth. I think they're going to continue to do stuff like that. Honestly, their major players are going to bounce back and forth from Raw to
can see it.
SmackDown.
But I think the shakeups will be made true.
See, I disagree because so here's what will happen. The major shakeups will happen, but they'll make absolutely no sense. And that's how we're going to know Vince is back. Because you're going to look at it like, why did they do this? This makes
I think they only make no sense if they don't have a plan for whoever
Or if you
they're going to
can't
do
tell
stuff
it in
with.
the story coming up.
I mean,
if there's no basis of what's happening in the story, then there's a chance.
What are they going to do with Judgment? Since Judgment Day and Judgment Day is on SmackDown, correct?
Judgment Day is mainly Raw now.
yeah.
Are they mainly Raw?
Because I think Finn.
Well, the Usos
Dominic-
are SmackDown because like that whole thing last night was really good.
Yeah,
So
they
I'm
did
curious on
fantastic.
how they're
Yeah.
going to continue that, but unless they just bounce them back and forth.
They'll probably bounce them back and forth. I mean, that's a good possibility. Oh, and wait a minute. Sorry, this is funny. I saw this earlier today.
Okay.
I'm gonna poke another hole in your theory. This is gonna be great, Jason. You're gonna love this. So
Anytime you can make Scott look like shit, I'm good.
remember, back in 2021, they signed a new guy to the label of WWE because he was the exact same buildup as Kurt Angle,
Chad Gable.
Chad Gable.
Okay.
Now, do you know why his push was not pushed at all?
No.
Sexual misconduct.
Okay.
Bye-bye. And now he's back on the circuit as a regular wrestler now.
That's fine. He was not the
So-
owner of the company.
John Laurinaitis is not coming
wait a
back.
minute. When Chad Gable got in trouble for sexual
There
misconduct,
were allegations that came back up, and they let him go after that.
That again, let's discuss tiers.
He was out of the
higher up.
company?
Yeah.
I do not remember that.
Yeah,
I just saw an article that said that he has been, I don't think let go, but pushed further down in the pecking order.
Sheesh. I did not know that. I did not
No, not Chad Gable.
I think
not
yeah,
Chad.
I can't
Not
can't be
Chad, it was the other one.
Oh,
Gable
the dude that hurt
Stevens.
his neck?
Gable Stevens.
Gable Stevens.
Gable Stevenson.
Oh, so he just reported that he's going back. He's going to the Olympics or something. They're going to be doing something
Yes,
like
but
that.
from what I saw earlier today was the reason that he did not get his push because we did not see him that much after he did his debut with Kurt Angle.
Oh, so you're talking about Gable Stevenson then? Okay,
Yes,
yeah,
I'm talking about Gable Stevenson. I'm not
Yes.
talking about Chad Gable. I'm talking about Gable Stevenson.
Yep, perfect.
He was let go by WWE because of sexual misconduct.
Okay.
And yet you're saying they'll backdoor John Laurinaitis.
Because John Laurinaitis is close to Vince. Gable Stevenson wasn't. Again,
This man was supposed to be the next Kurt Angle for the company, and you're saying that doesn't give him rank?
no, that gives him no rank because if Vince sours on him, who cares? But Vince, when it comes to what Vince wants he wants one thing and one thing only: yes men. And the only two people that have been the yes men in his company have been John Laurinaitis and Bruce Pritchard. And you can't tell me otherwise. So if Vince has some way of controlling his company secretly behind the scenes, he's going to need people to do it. And the only two people that can do it are Johnny Ace and Bruce Pritchard. They got Bruce. If Vince has some way of doing it, he will get Johnny Ace back.
I guess Jason and I are the only ones that are actually sane right now.
Well,
I'm not saying I never say never. Wrestling is a different organization organism than most companies, but Endeavor is a different animal too.
I mean, Endeavor
So,
is
and
a
I
different
don't-
animal, and I don't deny that. But I'm all like, again, they're going to do this in a way that doesn't arouse too much suspicion at first. And it's probably like here's another thing. Bruce will probably be helping Vince run things for maybe about a year. They're going to wait till the heat dies down. Again, Vince is very strategic about this kind of stuff. He brings people back once the heat's died down, once people have kind of forgotten about everything, and boom, then they show back up again. Because Johnny Ace was gone for what? Because Johnny Ace was there during the Diva era. He was the one hiring all these women out of lingerie catalogs. Then all of a sudden, I wish I could remember why he had gotten let go the last time. And then right around the time the pandemic hit, Johnny Ace came back again.
Endeavor is in control.
yes.
Okay.
Hey, so Scott? Have you ever stepped on a Lego?
Hey,
No,
man,
but hey,
the fact you guys pulled that out on
I
Saturday was
landed on
terrible.
that.
By
I
the way-
landed on one the other day. So
How did that go?
a
just so
few,
you,
I have my legs are all cut up. I
just
actually
so
didn't
you
think.
know, just so you know, Steven and I walked away with souvenirs the other night.
Did you
each
get
of
some
us found a-
Legos?
No, thumbtack in our shoes.
Haha, look at my.
So-
Um,
tell Jesse to stop being so rough with you.
hey baby, hey baby. Have you ever stepped on Lego, Scott?
Yeah.
Okay. Wyatt, ever stepped on Lego?
Yeah, but I think the worst pain I've ever felt is when I was a kid. I used to step on my metal airplanes a lot.
Stay with me. Okay, we'll use that. I stepped on a Lego when I was
But it is a religious experience.
20 couple, right? Because my kids were younger and they at that time they had Legos. I've not forgot that pain. I fell on a Lego Saturday night. One or two, right?
You're
One or
talking
two.
about PTSD. What the fuck?
One or two. Brought that pain back. I remembered how that felt by stepping on a Lego, by landing on 3 or 4 on my legs, right? If Vince comes back at any point or Johnny Ace comes back at any point, people will remember the pain that these guys put them through. The locker room will remember how Johnny, what women are still there, will remember how Johnny Ace used to sexually harass them and make comments and do it. And sexual harassment, it goes a little deeper than just fingering a chick when she's not looking, right? I mean, it's talking, saying shit and making comments and stuff like that.
Hey, Ma, let me get your number.
Hey, so it goes a little deeper than just actually having sex with somebody. So they will remember that. They will remember that Vince, the Monday night after WrestleMania, that completely destroyed Raw and made it the worst Raw in history. People will not forget that. So if Vince comes back, okay. If Johnny Ace comes back, okay. But that pain is real. That pain of the years of Vince being in charge is real. So they won't forget it. And the fact that people won't forget it tells me we're not bringing this guy back regardless. We don't need to bring him back. We got a lot of great people in charge now and in place that is only here to do what they think they need to do to make the company go right. Not because your crazy grandfather decided he was going to go and take a drive and disappear 30 miles down the road. Forget who he was. They are good. Endeavor is going to be good without Vince, and they know that. They are good. Johnny Ace is an afterthought. Johnny Ace is a fart in the wind. He is gone. He is not coming back. Johnny Ace took the blunt of everything that happened. If anything, he's most likely probably never coming back. Again, never say never.
And you know what? Vince owes him big time for that.
And Vince is not in fucking charge, Scott. Vince doesn't have that control where he is going to be hiring people. They're not giving him that control. They're not. He's not going to have control over the roster and who gets cut and who doesn't get cut.
We'll see.
And we will see. And again, if WWE or Endeavor decides to step on a fucking Lego again, they'll remember what happened last time.
But see, I don't even think they've stepped on a Lego. Like they haven't even felt the pain that Vince can cause yet. And that's where it's going to get interesting.
You're making it sound like Endeavor had a hostile takeover.
Yeah, this was not. They didn't have to feel the pain. They saw the result of Monday night.
Of what Vince can do on Monday night, and they saw the numbers drastically.
They are not going to go, well, yeah, it was a one-time thing. They can go back over the years and look at all the ups and downs. They can tell you that running a pay-per-view or a premium live event during Monday Night Football is not good for them, or running their Monday night numbers are down because of Monday Night Football. They could tell you all that stuff. They can also go back and look at all the algorithms, but look at all the metrics for when Vince was running something and when Vince wasn't running something.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to go,
yep.
And that's what they're going to do. See you, Vince.
Completely agree.
Bye. Good riddance. Good riddance. Was at one point great for the business. See you in Denver.
Completely agree.
We'll see. Like I said, we'll see. As time goes on,
Scott, I hope you're fucking right. Scott, I hope you're right, and I'm going to eat that hat.
Yeah.
Not that hat, because that hat is filthy. But I'm going to eat that other hat.
I mean,
Honey, bring me the ketchup.
Again, it is Endeavor's company now. It is not anybody else's company. It is solely Endeavor. The fact that Vince has now lost his voting shares, that he has now given sole creative to Triple H, is a big step, because I guarantee you that Raw after WrestleMania, they sat him in his office and said, "You're terrible."
You're right. He's like, "Oh,
our numbers dropped drastically because
sorry, Vince."
Historically, Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania is usually better than WrestleMania. This one, oh look, ketchup.
Thank you, honey.
Did Jesse actually bring you that?
Yes, because she knows we'll never use it. Look at us with the generic ketchup. We need some sponsors, boys. I gotta stop buying this generic ketchup.
Hey, yo, Liquid Death.
Oh, somebody's getting paid more money. They got water in a can.
So this is a different landscape. Okay. Again, I agree. There will be moments because the kids won't notice the difference. The adults will. and going
What is their demographic?
mainly kids.
18 to
No,
35.
WWE.
Yeah. 18
Yeah,
to
their
35.
demographics
Or
like
18 to 40. 18
35 to 45,
Okay.
35 to 50. That's
So
their
you sit
demographic.
there, all the older adults will remember how bad when Laurinaitis was the Raw general manager making stupid decisions, and will remember the stupid era of guest hosts, which was terrible. Thanks, Vince. And they will remember all these little things. It will be a small trigger, and that's what will lose the viewership.
One day Johnny Ace is going to be sitting in a rocking chair.
Notice it gradually over time? Like, what if it is a slow progression over time to see that? Like, again,
Okay, so for you two, it'll be pretty significant to see it.
yeah.
Because you guys are wired differently. And I've gotten to the point to where now I'm critiquing things. And I'm like, no, see, that was shit. No, see, you can't do that. Yeah, it doesn't fit the storyline.
It's tough being on this side of the fence, bro. It's the
But the grass is greener.
yeah, absolutely. It is.
It's a little-
One day Johnny
little
Ace
dead
and
on
Vince
this
are going to be they're going to be sitting in a rocking chair, and Johnny's going to say, "Hey Vince, you remember when you used to talk about Mae Young's boobs? We never got sued."
This is the age where companies are looking out for their face.
True.
It is the face that they need to protect because they know as soon as something that happens, it is all over with.
Everywhere. The age of media, baby.
Because here's the other problem. Here's the other thing you have to remember now. If Endeavor gets sued for sexual harassment or sexual assault, it will not be WWE. It will be Endeavor taking the brunt of the force of the lawsuit.
In Denver, though.
Yeah, in Denver. So it has to
There's
be
no
either federal
sexual
forces
con-
in Endeavor.
No
It has
sexual
to be.
contact charges in Denver for Endeavor.
So there are multiple issues that you need to look at because it's not just because, oh, we'll bring back John Laurinaitis. You then have to realize that if John Laurinaitis comes back, the women that have had that experience will be triggered. They will leave.
What
You
if they're
then
not
lose-
there?
Okay, then that's still you're running into the issue of you have brought back this charged sexual assault person back into the locker room. We've gotten rid of him before for that conduct. Why are you bringing that cancer?
It's a known fact. It doesn't matter if those women are there or not there. It's a known fact that
I mean,
this guy's a creepo.
Hello, baby.
Hey, do you wanna be the champ? Huh?
I can make that happen. So it's just there are multiple layers. You're right. There is corporate level, but you have to look at the two things that will kill a company: lawsuits, lawsuits, lawsuits.
And yet, in every company I've ever dealt with or heard about, all they do is they quietly backdoor a settlement, say bye bye. Once the person's paid, they don't even think
Because the
about
person just made $15 million off a settlement.
it. Less than that. Most of them only make about 700 to 800,000 off of a lawsuit.
Oh yes, that's chump change. Please get my dollar bill toilet roll, please.
For a
Touch
company that's
me.
making multiple billions of
Touch
dollars,
me.
like that's chump change. So,
Some of these were around $2 and $3 million settlements.
well, the Vince,
Some of
the
if not
Vince
more.
ones, yes. The Vince
Yeah.
ones, yes. But again, that's also Vince. It wasn't even, well, he did it with company money, but that's Vince paying people on his own
Isn't that
terms.
laundering?
No, he paid out of his pocket.
I was gonna say, if he's
Vince
using
paid out of
company's
his
money,
own
isn't that laundering?
I thought he paid out of the company funds.
I don't think I thought he paid out of his
no,
own
he
pocket.
paid. No, he said he paid out of pocket, but they discovered through the investigation that it was company money. Hence why he had to pay
God,
this whole
double
thing.
shit bag. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
He laundered the company's money. Oh my god.
I know the company fined him, but I don't know that he used their money to pay off.
I remember the whole thing. correctly.
reason why Endeavor's getting rid of him.
Vagina Gate.
You say that, but again, will they get rid of him? That's the next question. Well, I don't see it happening. At least not right away. I still think they're going to honor his 2-year contract, but we'll see about that one. So, once the 2 years is up, then we'll see what happens.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck? We can't get through to you, can we? Okay, you know what? People in the comment section, you need to tell us what you
Yes, please. Let's
because
hear.
I
let's-
gotta hear this because for some reason we're trying to take our concrete pickaxe and bounce against Steel Head.
Again, you guys think like
About the
businesses
current now, yes.
businesses have survived. WWE survived Vince. Endeavor can survive Vince. There's ways of doing it. It may not be
Surviving and
perfect.
dealing with it in general are two different things. And WWE had to survive Vince because WWE is owned by Vince.
Yeah,
It's no longer owned by
They couldn't get rid of
Vince.
him.
We don't have to. We don't have to put up with this bullshit.
again, they don't have to, and they might not. But again, what I'm saying is they will probably, for all intents and purposes, honor his contract for 2 years. Once that time is up, then he'll probably be gone, is my estimation. But they're not, because one way or another he gets paid. So what, like, if they keep him on the payroll or if they fire him, he still gets paid one way or another. So
I don't think money's a problem for Endeavor.
yeah,
Endeavor.
I mean, that's
Considering they now make $51 billion a year after signing WWE, I think they're fine.
Yeah.
well, again,
Fine.
we will see. But again, it's what happens if they decide to honor his contract for the 2-year period. What happens when his contract
Okay,
comes?
but we're not saying that they're not going to honor his contract. We're just
In
saying
2 years, they
do the
get rid of
same
Vince
shit.
and they bring back John Laurinaitis.
Again, what we're looking at simply is business.
I need alcohol.
I tell you what, I love Scott because he will die on a hill that don't fucking mean shit.
Jason,
He
do you
just
have alcohol?
he gets an opinion, he just rolls with it.
Again,
And that is the problem with
it's-
these Cornet people.
yeah, well,
I was waiting for one of us to say it. I'm glad
hey,
you
guess
did.
what? Cornette's proved you wrong more times than anybody I can
I
count.
don't know
So
that
guess
he's ever
what?
But
I don't know he's
Cornette-
ever proved me wrong.
But Cornette, I hate to say it, is the traditionalist of wrestling. You now have to look at how the times have changed.
Times have changed. Wrestling hasn't. Wrestling's been the same for 100 years. Again.
But now it's owned by Endeavor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, on this note, I think we should call it quits for the night. So, hasta la vista, everybody. Like, share, subscribe. This
I don't blame you if you don't.
Hey, by the way, our
help
subscriptions-
me, ladies and gentlemen, help me prove these two idiots wrong for
Hey.
once. I guarantee there's a few people out there that agree with me, and if you don't, great.
I'm sorry, this idiot has a degree and a master's degree coming soon, so shut up.
Well, you don't have a master's degree in wrestling, so
That is true.
Yeah, no,
But
okay.
he is slowly passing you, Scott, on knowledge. I tell you, you make it. Oof. Anyway, Wyatt, I need you to clip this whole back part, this last, for a 2-minute short, just so people can shit all over it. So,
You got it.
Scotty, I hope you're wrong. I know you're wrong, but I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong.
well, one way or another, if I'm right, you're eating that hat. So
But again, see, the funny thing is, what you don't seem to realize is that we're 1-0 against you.
over what?
I'm never wrong.
Well, okay. So you see what happened when Vince came back to Monday Night Raw and ruined it. You
Okay,
were right on that.
and
That's
you were-
1-0,
and-
buddy.
We should
Okay,
roll back
they
to
didn't
that.
get rid of
Oh,
him?
he's
He's still
Vince is
there?
back.
He's still
Vince is
there.
back.
You haven't-
He's
you're not-
he's not in that position anymore though.
You
He came back, he fucked it up, and he walked away. And
he's
they got him out of there.
not, quote unquote, not in that position.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
you tell us if Scott has daddy issues.
Dave Meltzer.
On that note, thank you guys for watching. It's a longer episode than normal because of our ranting, but hey, we'll be back soon with more content. And also, while you're at it, please subscribe to ATCW, where we'll be uploading more content soon with this past weekend's matches. Ladies, you're both ugly. Can I go home now?
No,
You're home.
you are home.
No!
I gotta go home.
I'm just existing on a lateral plane. So, anyway, that's it for tonight. We will talk to y'all later. Enjoy this week of wrestling.